Hey YouTube. For today's video I'm going to talk about a programme that I don't watch regularly, but I watch on the odd occasion, which is called Trick or Treat. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Trick or Treat is a programme hosted by Derren Brown, who is like a person who sort of works with the mind, and he advertises for contestants, and then people like, you know, say that they want to be on the show, and then he picks the ones he wants to work with, and then he surprises them. Like for example, like say he wanted someone to be on the show, he wouldn't just go to them and say, "You're going to be on the show." He would surprise them by doing something. Like for example, there's a guy who applied to be on the show, and Derren actually got a pair of keys off the guy's wife, and at 3 o'clock in the morning opened the front door with the keys and sneaked upstairs to to the guy's room where he was sleeping. Walked in and sat down on the bed and said, "I want to use you for the show." And this guy was like that, like sleeping, and he like woke up and he was like, and I just looked so surprised to see him there. But I think, to be honest, if it was me, oh my god, yeah. If it was me, I would have freaked out and I'd be like, "Whoa, get out of my house." So that's how he surprised them. And then after that, they have to choose a card. And there's 2 cards. One says trick, one says treat. Hence the name of the show. And if they choose the trick card, then a trick will be played on them. Whereas if they choose the treat card, then they will get a treat, basically. So a trick, something bad happens; a treat, something good happens. And I'm going to tell you of 2 shows which I watched, which really stick in my mind. Now, the first one was when this woman went on the show, and what they do is when they've told them that they're going to be on the show, and they've chose their card, they then like assess them in their day-to-day lives through like hidden cameras to see what kind of trick or treat they can do that will change the person's life forever. So with this woman who chose a card, she was told she was going to be on the show when her car keys, no, when Derren got into the car somehow. I don't know if it was with her car keys or not, and messed up the car, and then she went to get in the car a bit later and couldn't start the car, and then he went over and said to her, "You're going to be on the show." Now, what actually happened to her was they viewed her through hidden cameras which had been placed in the car while she'd been in the shop or wherever she'd been, and they like were assessing her and everything, watching her, and they found out that she uses her phone while driving a car, which isn't allowed. So what they decided to do was to get her to have an accident. Now, this was all safe. So basically what they did was they asked her to go somewhere, like in, I don't know where it was, in London or somewhere, and you know, because it was to do with the show. And then what they did was they like, no, not to do with the show. No, sorry, I'm trying to remember it. They asked her to go somewhere because she'd won a prize in a competition or something. So she went and she had you know, like when you have your face or massaged and, you know, all that crap put on your face. And they actually put like plaster of Paris on the face and stuff. And they actually managed to get a cast of her face. And then what they did was they got another actor, like a double, to wear the mask that was like all, you know, all white and pale and stuff. And then one day she was driving along using her phone and she had an accident because, you know, another car collided with her, and she got out of the car and this other guy got out of the car and he called for the ambulance and the police and stuff like that. And while she was looking around, the other person went into the car with this mask on, and they were told, or all the people who worked on the show who were you know, doing all the acting stuff, they were told to ignore the woman who had got out of the car, because basically what they were trying to do was to make it seem to her as if she'd killed herself, and that no one could like hear her or see her, and you know, so because she could see like this thing in the car which she thought was herself because it looked exactly like her and no one was paying attention to her. So but when she actually found out that this wasn't actually true, that it had all been made up, she actually stopped using her phone while driving, surprisingly. So that was good in a way, of that it changed her life and made her see that, you know, she could have a crash one day. And the other show that I saw was where there was this woman, well, a teenager, and she had quite a negative personality, and they found out she loved animals, so they got a kitten and they put the kitten in a cage and pretended to wire it up, so it had all wires and stuff, and there was a big red button, and she was told that if she pressed that button she'd kill the kitten straight out. So she was like, oh, you know, okay, I just don't need to press the button. He said, right, he said, I'll give you 10 minutes to not press that button. Okay, she said, she's just playing with the kitten. There's a little clock that's going, you know, doing all the time. And just, because he's watching it, this Derren Brown, and just as the clock reaches 00.01, 1 more second to go, she goes over, bang, presses the button, and the cat says, bang, and it goes dark, and she's like, thinking she's killed the cat. So then he goes in and all the lights are turned back on, and she's told she hasn't killed the cat, and that is when she realises that it's something called negative suggestion, and she was thinking, I'm not going to press the button, I can't press the button, I can't press the button, I can't press the button, and it was going round and round and round, and because she wasn't positive, it was just all negative, I can't. She ended up, it played on her mind, and she was thinking about it, and she ended up going over there and pressing that button that she shouldn't have actually pressed. So it basically made her more aware of how negative she was, and he saw her a few weeks later, and she was all positive and happy and everything, and it was great.